Welcome to the Pharos Fit podcast, where we help you to explore your capacity to move better, push further, and achieve your limitless potential through fitness, nutrition, recovery, and lifestyle. Welcome back to the Pharos Fit podcast. You're here with my wife, Emily Cavell, Jeff Scarborough.
Virtual
Jeff Scarborough. He's a lot better virtually than he is in real life. Brandon, my producer.
What's up, guys? Good to be back.
Hey, Brandon. And myself, Yvonne. Now we haven't seen Brandon since this thing started. Obviously, me, Jeff, and Emily have seen each other, so it's good to see your face, Brandon. How you doing?
I've been doing pretty well. I'm lucky to have been stuck here and been turning my house into a little Mad Max fitness park. You know, tires, sledgehammer. So been keeping busy and doing well.
So good.
You have like an apocalyptic gym.
Exactly. Just ready in case it does go to shit. Like I'm ready for it.
I love that the race, like when life gives you quarantine, get a home gym. Like everyone like rushed out to get a home gym, which I think is a really good sign for, for where we are. Like people are like, oh no, you're stuck inside. I have to do something, you know?
Absolutely. It's I think the prices for all those like at home stuff and the people trying to order them are like through the roof now. So I know it's been like that with
definitely got in the wrong. We got in the wrong side of the fitness industry, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean the people that manufacture home gym equipment are crushing right now. Hey, you know what's weird? Like that whole Peloton thing right before quarantine, where it was like they lost a ton of shares and everything went down because they had that like bad commercial or whatever. And then right after that, this thing happens. No, well, this thing happened, which is the best thing that could ever have happened to Peloton. So I don't know, maybe it was Peloton.
Blame them. I like the conspiracy theory. That's the topic of this podcast.
Anybody that has at home gym equipment, at home products, it's gonna do well.
Why don't you guys tell me, how is Pharos doing? What have you guys been doing through the quarantine?
We're doing good. We like as soon as this thing started, and this whole thing, March 15th was announced. It was announced on the Sunday, and then Monday morning we started live workouts. And obviously at that point it wasn't like organized like it was now, but we just knew we had to like have a presence, get online, stay in touch with our members, keep the community together, that kind of thing. And then in the beginning, I was doing like a morning workout, Emily was doing a repair workout, and Jeff was doing like a 5 p.m. dumbbell workout. And it started out bare bones just because we knew we had to do something. And then, as time went by and as we got more organized, it developed into a more of a serious thing, more of a greater online presence, which is, a virtual studio, if you will, which is what we have now.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have like over 60 classes a week, which is so many for a virtual studio, Right. It's like we had 12 different programs, and then if we were going to effectively translate our, what we offer online, then we had to offer just as much diversity and all of that. So the class schedule grew quickly. We got 60 classes a week, we just keep, the easiest part of this is the serving, is just putting our energy and attention on what we can control and what we can do, which is continue to hold our members accountable and be a light in a dark day, and to help them find purpose and to give them some support during this time. So I feel like that having that to do has been the best part of this, and is definitely, I don't know how you guys feel, but it is certainly getting me through, just putting energy on that.
I remember we had a conversation early on, like, this is bad, but we have to keep a growth mindset here. We have to grow. Either we can like sit down and sulk about it, or we can like focus on growing. And, the online stuff is something that we had actually talked about before. Like maybe it would be a good thing for, not just our members, but to reach out to a broader audience at large, that having an online presence would be beneficial. So this kind of gave us an opportunity really to start that process off. So rather than sitting down and thinking, oh fuck, this is a disaster, it was like, okay, this is an opportunity. Let's organize this virtual studio. Like Emily was saying, we've always stood by this word multiplicity. We wanted to offer like a broad spectrum of fitness. So we knew that in order to do that, we couldn't just use me, Jeff, and Emily. We'd have to, bring in our coaches and our whole staff.
To keep our team.
Keep our team. So then it became not just a way to serve our membership, but also a way to keep everybody, on board and keep our staff together and keep paying them in some fashion. So, like I said, the virtual studio became a way to keep the Pharos brand alive, to support all our coaches and all our staff, and to keep our community together, and to keep them both physically and mentally engaged through this time. Because as I'm sure you know, that of course we want to keep people physically fit, and we don't want people to sit around and get lazy and put on weight and stuff. And also we want to keep them mentally fit, because people's brains are, people's mindset can be so, devastated by this kind of thing. So I hope that we've managed in some way to help with that condition throughout this pandemic.
Man, I had such a moment of deja vu when you were just talking about the schedule and just talking from there, because it's basically the same conversation we had 3 years ago in the shed, right? Where we had no control of anything going on. I was like putting back and forth from the city, and they were like, well, you guys they just told you one thing and now they're telling you another. So what can we do? It's like, I have no idea. But the only thing that we had control of was our class schedule. And we had our morning body weight, like our train class. We had our afternoon repair with M. And then we did our build class in the evening. And kind of like with what Emily said, the only thing that we can control is our class schedule, is our service. And that's kind of what kept us going. It was these bodies showing up every single day with these smiley faces when we're running out of this like trudgy shed. And it was kind of like, in the beginning when we didn't really know what we were doing, like, I'm on Instagram 5 minutes a day looking at this, that, and whatever. I don't know how to use half of it. And then you guys are asking me to do Instagram live classes. And it was like, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah. I think we've all had to kind of like learn on our feet with this whole thing. It's funny. I was thinking about this today, like how hard it is to open a business in Los Angeles with, the way that the city is, the way that the taxes are. Like we went through such a tough process to get to the point where we're at. We were like just turning a corner. And now when something bad happens, like you don't get like the help that you feel you deserve after like contributing so much. I'm just like, right, really? We did all that and then now this? Like
exactly. And again, like when I was just talking about the city, that's kind of how I feel with all the SBA stuff. And I guess we might get into it later, but it's kind of one of these things where you have the biggest banks in the world, but that are there to help you out, but still like we have no definitive answers. We don't know what's going on. We don't know how we're supposed to spend this money. And it was just like that moment of deja vu with all this stuff happening all over again.
Right.
I think it's really funny though, because like, we've been talking for the last 3 years about like, moving the Limitless challenge online and being able to, expand into a virtual studio and doing like pre-recorded stuff and all of this. And then it doesn't happen. And then as soon as you need to, as soon as it is like essential, you throw it together fast. And I think that's like such an interesting thing where like, because now we had to, because we, it wasn't something that like, well, we have the option of doing this to expand. It's like, no, our lives depend on us pivoting. And so then you just like forage through and figure it out. And then a week later you have like, this virtual studio that you've been talking about putting together for years. And then now you're like, oh, voila.
You do what you have to do when you have no other option. I always think about this, like people that are seriously talented at what they do, a lot of the time, like they had no other option. Like, and I know this is like, not annoying you guys, but so I always think about this. So you take someone like Springsteen, who's like, comes from a really poor family in New Jersey, has nowhere to go, but there's no way out except music. So the only thing you have that's going to get you out of the terrible situation you're in is this one thing. And if you can just get good at that one thing, do it relentlessly, then maybe you'll get out of the shit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like things like this are like that. Like
absolutely,
you have to just find one thing that you can focus on that can get you out of the shit.
Yeah.
We're the Springsteen Fitness Club.
Springsteen Fitness Club.
That's just in the name. People mispronounce Pharos all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, we first met to start this show. I mean, this was one of your guys' big things, was to, really finally make that push, pre-COVID, to get to the online class and the online program. So how is, the online program going thus far? What has been the reaction from the clientele, especially during these times?
Honestly, I'm so proud. Like, I'm like sitting here, I'm just like so proud of all the coaches, of this whole team, of like everyone from admin to the back end. Like, everyone pivoted and they brought the best of themselves to the table and delivered it, So now I'm excited to say, like, we don't just have live stream classes and, we're not just putting together virtual studio like live stream classes, but we had a whole Limitless Challenge quarantine edition, and, you get on a team and you get a coach and you chat with them on a weekly basis, and you get nutrition advice and you get daily text messages and accountability. And it's like, fitness, nutrition, and mindset to stay sane during this time. And then once that ended, it's like, okay, well, quarantine's not ended, so what can we do? And then we created these skills programs. So the PAC Skills is a 30-day skill development program that you can hone in on 1 to 3 skills, handstands, push-ups, or mobility pistol, to running, to rowing, we have 12 different skills that you can kind of go down the rabbit hole and fine-tune and focus on. So I feel like in terms of content, we've done a lot to produce a lot of content, but moreover, the people, our members are coming in and they're crushing it. They are all of this was built as a direct result of people wanting to do stuff. What can I focus on during quarantine? How can I put my energies on this? What can I do? And so, I'm just so proud of the Pharos community at large for.
Yeah. It made me realize, both coaches and community. You have people, 2 types of people. Some people are just oh, what's the point? And then other people are fuck it, let's go. And most of our people were the fuck it, let's go people. And that's it was amazing to see. And it kind of makes me proud. You try and create an environment, and you try and create, a determination and just a sense of how you should behave in the gym, kind of thing. And you use fitness as something that channels a part of your personality. And that is go get, kind of work hard, let's do this kind of mentality. And then, when this whole thing happened, you didn't have the gym anymore, but you didn't need the gym because you had everything inside of you that you needed to keep working hard. And all we needed to do was provide an avenue for that energy to go into. And that's what happened. It's that Asgard is not a place to people. Pharos is not a place to people.
So
it made me realize too, there's a ton of different types of companies and businesses out there, and it made me really realize how important the fitness industry is, and what I say by that is how passionate people are in this industry. And you get a lot of people, and all my friends from home that work for banks and law firms, and they're like, this is great. You know what I mean? This is a vacation. I don't have to go into prison every day. This is the best time of my life. And our coaches were going nuts. You know what I mean? In the very beginning, they're like, what are we going to do? We don't have the gym. We don't have our clientele. What can we do? And we gave them this platform to be innovative and creative. And between Vanessa with her newsletter, and then Emily coming up with this idea for the PAC Skills program, and these coaches just pounced on it. And they came up with these huge programs, in depth, in detail, from warm up to strength piece to activation to little finishers at the end. They went so deep. I remember Emily, we were talking one day about how she started filming all these programs, and she had our one coach, Vinny, and he was doing fly, and he had 172 clips, and he was about a third of the way in there. And I was just like, God, these guys really went all in. So it really felt good. You know what I mean? That we created, and then we created this platform for these for these coaches to just thrive in their industry and do what they do best.
Exactly. Because it's not like I mean, obviously we on the back end had a lot of work to do, but it was so nice to just like talk to our team and be like, hey guys, this is our idea. And then everyone just like jump on board and give it 110%. So it's some good stuff. If you haven't checked it out yet, tax skills, baby.
And culture was kind of the word that we're looking for. Like the culture of our coaches and the culture of our community was such that it enabled all this to happen. Because if we hadn't had that culture, then it wouldn't have happened.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it almost seems like your product is your culture, and it just has spread into the community, and so on and so forth. That you guys have been able to really keep this going. That no matter if people are at their home, they can't do this. They can't get enough of you guys. So massive testament to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, almost the frustrating thing was like the industry, the manufacturing industry couldn't keep up with the demands of our clients. It's like, okay, we need dumbbells, we need benches, we need bands. It's like they all ran out of stock. So it's like, we're coming up with all these ideas, and you guys drop the ball.
Yeah, what does it seem?
This is why we need to start Pharos manufacturing, where we'll build our own dumbbells.
There you go. It's like, to your point of culture, it's like when we come together, I know we've always had such an issue with like creating a mission statement, because like at its core, like our goal is like every single day, every single session, every hour, every encounter, just be the best part of their day. Like let that be your goal. So then that transcends fitness, and especially in times like this, if that is our mission, it's never been stronger than now. To just like be a light in their day, and in as many people's days as we can,
Yeah. Back to the story of the logo. What do you guys think are the biggest differences or, potentially changes to your industry, gym exercise going forward?
I mean, obviously we don't know as yet what's going to be required of us. I will say this. Fortunately, Pharos is a 22,000 square foot facility. We have more space than anyone I know. We have a cleaner gym than anyone I know. And we are going to be able to kind of like thrive, no matter what they say. Because, for example, in our main gym, we have 20 squat racks, 20 benches with over 6 foot between every squat rack and every bench. In our open gym, we have over 6 foot between every machine. In our space upstairs in our training room, we have over 6 foot between every piece of cardio in there. In our boxing studio, our fight studio, we have 20 bags, which enables, if we drop that down to 10 bags, we have over 6 foot between every bag. So we kind of have the ability to pivot and change as we need to. And obviously we put in whatever cleaning protocols that are required of us, and we're making big strides in that area to make sure it's as safe as can be. But yeah, I think broadly speaking, gyms are going to have to operate at A, lower capacities, and B, going to have a lot more stringent cleaning protocols. And C, we are in the class training, spectrum. I mean, there's a lot of boutique class fitness studios out there that are now going to be facing a very difficult problem. You think of all the 2,000 square foot, 3,000 square foot small businesses that rely on packing that room with 30 people. Mm-hmm. That's not going to happen anymore. Yeah. And if your business model relies on that happening, then it's going to be a big problem for these guys. So like I said, I feel fortunate that we have the space that we have, because as miserable as it is for all of us, we can make those changes. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, it's going to require a lot of work. Yes, it's going to be, a change for all of us, but we have the capacity to do it. So, we do have that advantage. And I do feel very fortunate that we are in that position.
Yeah, remember 4 years ago when you guys were like, "Oh, let's get this 3,000 square foot spot."
Yeah, right, all right.
No.
It's all thanks to you.
I think that we should go big or go home.
So in a weird way, we've grown. We started with 9,000 square foot, whatever, and now we're 22,000 square feet, and we weren't sure like whether we should grow at that point. Like we weren't sure whether we were ready to expand. But now, as luck should have it, it's put us in this position where we have enough space to deal with whatever protocols they come up with. But let's hope they just come up with something soon, because, you know, we're ready to go. Like, we are confident that we can provide a safe space, like certainly safer than a supermarket or a Home Depot or anything like that. We have everything, you know, in place. And, you know, we just hope that LA, you know, starts to realize, I mean, you just said it, like, fitness is such an important part of people's lives, both physically and mentally. It is essential to their day. So how they can say that fitness is not an essential business is, you know, beyond reason. Where McDonald's over the street and Burger King over the street are completely essential to people's well-being.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, but, you know.
Yeah, and it's so hard because, you know, we go back to, I remember right at the beginning of this, I like posted this thing that was like, you know, you can go there, but you can't stay there. Like, we can sit and grumble and be like, dude, this sucks. This is totally unfair. How can they shut down a third of the economy and still keep big boxes open? And how can they say, you know, oh, the dangers of being online, and then now, oh, the distance learning is the new future. Like, and we're like sitting there being like, what is happening? What is this world? You know, but at the end of the day, we just have to deal with the information that we have and work with the reality that is in place. And, you know, what isn't fair, it like doesn't really matter at this point, because we just have to like move forward with what, you know, we can do.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's not really about our personal beliefs. It's about what makes our members feel safe. And we need to make them understand that we are going to do the best job possible for them and create the safest environment possible for them. You know, and the great thing, I mean, I just hope that the more data and more science comes out, that this virus is not transmitted through sweat. You know, it's through the droplets. And so it's, you know, I think there's this kind of misconception that like big sweaty gyms are going to be like hotbeds for this disease kind of thing. And, you know, the science just doesn't support that. So I just hope that, you know, when they do talk about gyms reopening, they do highlight that fact and highlight the positives of the gym, as opposed to the risks and the scary, terrible things about going to the gym. It's like, these are the reasons you should go to the fucking gym. Yeah. Well, and also, and this is a broader point, but, you know, people with, you know, any kind of metabolic disease or any kind of, you know, heart conditions and obesity, which are, you know, obviously huge respiratory illnesses, like all these huge problems in this country, you know, and globally, which this virus, you know, it's attacked, and like it's very damaging to those people. And of course, the health and fitness industry, and, you know, our goal, our mission is to get people healthy, well, and avoid sickness of any kind. So, you know, we are not the cure, obviously, but we are the cure in terms of like, we can provide people with a stronger immune system and keep them, you know, a lot healthier, certainly more healthy than a McDonald's can. And we just want the opportunity to be able to do that. And of course, like I said, we will do that as safely as we possibly can and be as reassuring as we can to our members. But yeah, we think that the gym and our gym is a very important part of people's, you know, daily lives.
You know, you asked about like how gyms will be different. And I think that one point, like I was talking about how this is a point I'm excited about. If you haven't heard about this, like hydrostatic gun, it's like a disinfecting spray that you can like put Virex in, and it like kind of shoots it out like a gun, and it's electrostatic. So it wraps around like barbells and rigs and things like that. So where before you'd be like wiping things down, now it literally like static clings.
Just stand there with your camera.
Yeah, with your but you know, we heard about it actually because a couple other fitness studios have like literally thrown millions of dollars investing into this type of cleaning. And so of course, you know, like we purchased one of them, and I instantly get excited that like our like not just our COVID procedures are going to be better, but like it's just going to help our cleaning overall. So like having better, better ways for us to sanitize gyms in general is like a good thing. So I would say one good thing that came out of this, and hopefully a good thing that will come out of it in general, is like, people are the best judges of small businesses. They come in and they decide whether your gym is gross and grimy, and they go to the clean gym down the street. Like, right? Like that's like, you make it or break it, Darwinism of business evolution,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that people's standards will be so much higher as to what like a clean facility is. And people's like cleaning procedures will get a lot better. And it's great because it should happen anyway, but like COVID, virus or no virus, the standard by which we operate to create a clean and healthy and safe environment for people to exercise in, and I think a lot of people already do that well. Small business owners that have small communities and small gyms are able to, probably have higher standards maybe than some low box people who, thousands of people come in and out and blah, blah, blah. But I definitely think we'll see that change where, it used to be that people looked for eucalyptus towels and saunas, and now people are going to be looking for hydrostatic guns and better disinfecting procedures.
Here's the good thing about a gym like ours as well. It's like, our space is coached, right? So you are told you're going to do this in this area, you're going to do this in this area. So we control the space. As coaches, we control the space, so we can direct people. Whereas I think the problem that a lot of Globo gyms are going to have is like people are just free to go wherever they want and do whatever they want to do. So that can, of course, lead to all manner of problems in terms of like managing space. So again, is this going to be hard for us? Yes. Is this going to be a big change for everyone? Yes. Do I think we're in an advantageous position? Then yes, because we can control the space, we coach the space, we can direct the space, we have more space, and we're investing a lot in all of the equipment that we need to make it as safe as possible. In fact, we're going to do another podcast with you, and we'll talk about exactly as we get closer, the exact protocols of how it's going to work and everything we've now put in place to make sure this space is the safest place in LA to train. Because I know that's going to reassure people and make people feel a lot more comfortable.
I mean, you guys hit the nail on the head. I can't imagine how we didn't take care of things. Like even in the grocery store, we get our food. Like we weren't cleaning it this much before, and like now,
right.
Like it's great that we got a wake up call to even with the place we have our food. You guys have done a great job of taking care of the gym. You guys run a clean ship, and then you have a really good crowd of people who are very professional about. They do shower at the gym. They are going to be in there. They keep it clean, So like you said,
that's the beauty of social responsibility in a community like ours. Everybody at Pharos wants Pharos to succeed. So nobody's going to be putting other people at risk. Because it means that we won't have a Pharos, Mm-hmm. So I really believe in like the social responsibility of people, coming in and wanting to it's going to take a group effort to make sure that we're all doing our part to ensure everybody else's safety.
Now, what have you guys learned from this experience of, being on lockdown, being in quarantine, and how does that look for you guys?
That nothing is certain. When I remember, back in the day when I was a bartender, it was like, this business is great. When you're happy, you drink. When you're sad, you drink. And in the world of fitness, it was kind of the same thing. Like people use it as a stress reliever. It's like just part of their everyday routine. They every goal that you have in your life kind of revolves around how you feel about yourself, right? So coming to the gym and making that a part of your day to day was just important to everyone, and we just felt so certain about that. And it was kind of something that I said to myself before, where it's like, will this ever evolve into an online platform? And although there are things like Peloton and stuff like that, our build class, our sprint class, our train, or repair, those kind of things have type of things with the type of equipment that you need. It just has to be done in a facility, and it's much easier to do it when you're surrounded by people. However, after going through all of this, it just makes you realize that, not everything is as it seems. And with that as well, you know, like I remember like when we first started this whole process, you know, you don't really, I didn't realize how strong our community was. And M&P kind of touched on it before, where they were talking about like how our community is what binds us. And, you know, the thing that we were so worried about losing, and like obviously the thought of like money and the brick and mortar of Pharos Athletic Club, but what really scared us was losing that community aspect. You know what I mean? So to not have a virtual studio experience, and to, you know, not have that day-to-day rapport with people and asking them about TV and being the best part of their day and all that kind of stuff, that is what really was fearful to all of us. And, you know, like she said before, like now we have over 60 classes and we've evolved and we've grown. But it definitely made me cherish the fact that, you know, we do have a really solid group at the gym, and it's not just the members, it's the coaches and us and everybody who supported us. And even like my, you know, family that I haven't reached out to and or haven't heard from in so long, like have reached out to me and asking about the gym because they've been following online. It's just been like, it's actually been a pretty proud experience, to say the least.
Yeah.
And MP, what do you guys think on your end? What has been something you used to take?
What have I learned? Well, I definitely am the type of person that like needs something to focus on to like not go crazy, and I happen to like throw myself into work when I am my most upset and depressed and anxious and stuff. I find that I do a lot of my best work in those scenarios. And so now I'm just like very grateful that you know, I mean, to some days I feel like I need our community more than they need me. Like that I have been more like that you know, that Pharos has saved me more than it has saved you know, the lives of our members. So I'm just like so grateful. I'm obviously so grateful to Jeff and Pete and Kate. A lot of times I think like hardship like makes or breaks you, you know, and like people can get really divided. And I know like relationships, like people are like killing each other right now, like at home. And so it's like so nice to feel like I have a strong community and we're all, you know, we all got each other's back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think all of us, maybe surprisingly, except for Pete, who usually gets the most stressed out about everything, but has actually been very cool, calm, and relaxed during all this, to much of a surprise. So I would say more Emily and myself. You know, I went first, and I had a total emotional meltdown, which was totally necessary as well, because after that is like when I snapped back out of it, and I felt like, okay, we got this, we can do it. And, you know, Emily had the same about a week later, and then about a week and a half ago as well. But, you know, although she said with friendships and with relationships and your life in general, things have gotten a little tense and heated, but we've been good. I mean, we've really been able to, I think we've really been able to lean on one another, and when one person's having a bad day, you know, the other's there to lift us up, and, you know, in a cliche way, but, it's been good.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's been another test of resilience. Like I know, like when bad things have happened in my life, I pretty much had like 5 minutes of kind of like, oh fuck, and then from then on, I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna fight. So this for me was like just another test. It's another way of like life testing you and saying like, really, can you overcome this? Really, can you overcome this? It's like, if you can overcome it, you're going to come out stronger. So it's like, for me, all these things are just tests. It's like, no matter what happens, you just have to find a way to get through it and come out the other side of it. So yeah, for me, I don't think it taught me resilience, because I think I already had it, but I think it like reminded me of like who I want to. This is why I have it, and this is who I want to be in these situations. So, you know, when the shit goes down, I want people to know that they can like rely on me to like stand up and say, well, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I want the gym to be like that as well. I want people to know that Pharos isn't just going to fold when something bad happens. We're going to fight for, you know, what we believe in, and we're going to fight to, you know, come out strong at the end of situations like this. And that's what we'll do.
Yeah, what you want to be in this situation, and then also I think all of us have had our own private conversations about like what we want to be in the future. When you start a business, you get trapped in this hole of working in the business and becoming an employee. And like they were saying before, you know, everything that we're doing now, it's not like this all just came to us the day after this quarantine hit. We've been talking about this stuff forever, and it's to a lot of us, it's been way more meaningful work. You know what I mean? It's creating different avenues for people to achieve their goals, and just coming up with like creative and innovative ideas for the gym, opposed to going there, running classes, plunging toilets, doing our privates, and then heading home at 7 o'clock at night, you know? And for me, you know, really made me realize like what I want to do in the future for the gym. And I think for all of us as well.
Yeah,
So,
and what like leadership is,
That's,
and
I mean,
the
that's what I was
kind of
going to say.
leader that you are, and that we're all different. You know, we all lead in much different ways, and like, you know, doubling down on our strengths as leaders and outsourcing or delegating out our weaknesses. You know.
But I think I think this whole thing has been a good test of like leadership throughout the company. So not just with us as owners, but like I said, a lot of coaches like took those leadership roles, and they led their own programs, and like they led their own like communities within the community. And
our admin,
like
pivoting
oh my
online. God. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like any other studio owner is like, wow, there's a reason I didn't have time to do this before. You know, like it is a full-time job. So
yeah, they really came through and showed great leadership qualities. Like we always wanted to build a culture of leadership and not a culture of like just people doing what we say, you know. And you know, as I said, like so many of our staff, whether they were coaches, whether they're admin staff, they really pulled through and did a great job. So we're super fortunate. Yeah. I guess when bad things happen, and we have our anchors as a company that we, you know, that we stand by, that define us as a company. And I think when bad things happen, it really gives you a chance to live up to those anchors. Do we stand by our anchors, and can we live up to the high standards that we set for ourselves? And if it works out, then it's a good way to say yes. All right, well, we'll wrap it up there, but it's great to see you again, Brandon. And it's great to like talk to all of you guys out there, all of our members out there, all of our extended community out there. We just want to say, all of us, thank you. We would not have survived without you. We would not exist without you. And we look forward to the future with you. You guys have been amazing throughout this, and we will keep delivering. We will keep serving you to the best of our ability. And just rest assured that when we do reopen, it will be the best possible place that you could be to train in Los Angeles, we believe.